Welcome, everyone. I'm Sue Barber, author, former IT director for a Fortune 500 company, turned executive coach, and this is the Visibility Factor podcast, where we explore how to raise your visibility and play bigger at work and in life. We'll explore key topics and welcome guests that help you shift your thinking about yourself so you can see new possibilities for your leadership. I'm on a mission to create a visibility movement for leaders to show their value and be seen for their true talent. Are you ready to take the next step towards a higher level of visibility for yourself? Let's go. Today's episode of the Visibility Factor podcast is brought to you by Amplify You, the ultimate program designed to unleash your full potential and amplify your success. Imagine having a personal coach cheering you on, guiding you through a journey of self-discovery, and helping you break free from those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. That's exactly what Amplify You is all about. Whether you're a leader now or aspiring to be one, this program is your ticket to a more confident, empowered you. It's like having a supportive friend in your corner, encouraging you to dream big. It's about having the career success that you want and creating a life you truly deserve. Amplify You offers a unique experience to help you build the confidence to tackle any challenge life throws your way. If you're interested in learning more about the program, please visit susanmbarber.com and click on the menu item Programs. Are you ready to transform your life and your career? Let's make it happen. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Visibility Factor podcast. This is Sue Barber, your host. Today is about mentoring. A mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor that you can leverage to ask questions to, and they can share some of their experiences with you that may help you accelerate your own learning and be able to move faster in your career. So having a mentor, in my experience, has been a game changer. And I'm hoping that when we talk about this today, it might be an idea if you don't have one for yourself, or if you've never been a mentor for someone else, you might be interested in doing it. Because mentors can share their experiences and give you a different perspective. And they've definitely played an important role in my career and so many of the leaders that I know. And the reason this came up for me is a conversation with one of my clients this week where he was talking about a great new experience he's going to get to have. So in his role, he works with senior management already on a regular basis and has been really recognized for the great work that he is doing with them. They really love him. But he's a little quieter than most. He's very thoughtful and very smart. And he's been in some tough situations at work with his current boss, but he's been able to navigate them successfully because we've had some conversations about how to challenge and push back on things where he needed to. Now, I've just seen his confidence grow so much over the last 4 months, and I know he wants to do more in his career. He's really trying to get more visibility and have those conversations about what he wants to do next. So last week, he shared with me about an amazing opportunity that he has to shadow a C-suite leader in his organization for a month. So we talked about what kind of outcomes he wants from this experience and how he's going to show his thought leadership and value throughout that month with this leader. Now, this shadowing offer didn't come from out of the blue. My client has had multiple interactions with his local leadership and this C-suite leader. And my client has been adding a ton of value to the conversations and making an impact to the business, which has really been widely known and given him a lot of opportunities to be in the room and to different things that maybe other people wouldn't be a part of. But what's fun is to see him starting to really step into using his voice in a bigger way and not shying away from difficult conversations, which he definitely has to be a part of. So we spent some time looking at this opportunity to shadow and the ways that it could help him not only now, but also beyond this month of time that he's going to spend with this leader. And so we put together a list of outcomes, and he has now shared that with the C-suite leader. And we talked about what could he do beyond that, though? What's the longer term strategy that he could leverage to be staying in this person's world a little bit more and having conversations ongoing? And so we talked about options. Could this person be a sponsor for him, or a mentor, or simply someone he can meet with on a regular basis? So he's going to go into this shadowing experience well prepared, and he's going to ask for further support beyond this 1 month. I wanted to share this with you because you've heard me say that every interaction is an opportunity for visibility. Well, this is a big one for him. This is going to give him one-on-one time with this leader. It's going to give him opportunities to be in meetings with this leader. And because he's consistently demonstrated his potential in conversations, this C-suite leader came and asked him if he would like to be part of this shadowing experience. So this is when you know that you're doing the right things, that you're getting in front of people and getting visibility, because they actually come tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, would you like to be part of this experience with me? And I think it's great because when a senior leader sees potential in someone, they want to foster and encourage the growth of that person. They see someone that could go much higher in the organization with the right support. So during this conversation about what could possibly happen and what could happen after the shadowing experience is over, I noticed at times that my client was feeling like he might not deserve this opportunity. He was feeling a little doubtful, and I think he was a little concerned just how was he going to say things and what was he going to do and what kinds of things were going to be discussed with him that he needed to be prepared for. That feeling is completely normal. He's feeling that way because he's pushing himself out of his comfort zone. Those messages in his brain are saying, this is different, this is new, this is not what we normally do. And it's just trying to keep him safe. So we talked about all the things that he had done up until now that set him up for this big moment with this C-suite leader and how he's going to be able to leverage it. So I think in all these moments, we feel a little uncomfortable because it's doing something new, doing something that is out of our comfort zone. And we just have to recognize that that means we're pushing ourselves to learn and grow more and that it's going to be just fine. But he needed the reminder that he did deserve this and he's going to be able to take full advantage of this experience now. So I'm super excited to see how this goes for him, because I've loved the conversations with him about what he wants to do and where he wants to go next. And I can't wait to see how he pulls this off and makes this into a success for himself, just like he's done everything else. So in my experience, mentoring can make a difference for not only the mentee, but also the mentor. I have been a mentee, a mentor, and I've also launched mentoring programs for companies. I wanted to share a couple of ideas if this is something that you want to have in your organization that maybe doesn't exist, or if you want to be a part of it as a mentee or mentor. So you can create a formal program for mentoring, and you just have to think about the structure and the processes that you want to have in place to support the program. You think about how long each cohort will be in place, so maybe 6 months or a year, how many matched mentee/mentor pairs you're going to have. So I would start small. I wouldn't go crazy. I would start with maybe 6, see how it goes, and maybe you can expand it from there. Ask people who would be interested in being a mentee or a mentor if they would want to be a part of it. And then once you know that you have people participating, you can ask them what they want to get out of it. What are they hoping to learn from a mentor? What are the things that they are really hoping to share with a mentee? Those types of things can help you match them together. So the people that want to learn, I'll say executive presence, for example, they need to be matched with someone who's good at executive presence. So that way they have a good conversation about it. Now, these kinds of relationships are opportunities that I really think are more beneficial when the mentee leads the conversation, which I know is uncomfortable for them, but this is giving them an opportunity to learn and grow and have kind of upward senior level conversations. And so I'll always ask a mentee to put together the agenda, what they want to talk about, because then the mentor can answer those things. They know in advance what you're going to talk about, and it gives them an opportunity to share, some of their wisdom and their experiences that they've been through. And it really keeps the focus on the mentee and what they need. So when I've been a part of these types of mentoring programs that are a little more formal, they're usually in place to support maybe leadership programs or employee resource groups, or maybe in companies where they're trying to build stronger cross-functional perspective. You can put in place something like this to help people learn from each other. But I've done these types of programs even outside of a formal experience. And what's kind of fun about it is that you can have more than one mentor. You don't just get to choose one mentor. Sometimes you might get 2. And in my case, I was part of a program where we had a functional mentor. So for me, an IT senior leader was one of my mentors. But then we also had a business mentor as well. And so that was really beneficial. I had a supply chain leader. And so I could ask questions of both, right? I could talk to them about maybe from a functional perspective in IT, how to navigate some things. But I also got a great deal of learning from the business mentor about how to do things from a business perspective. And in that situation, I think it was a 6-month cohort that we had where we were doing that. And we had once a month conversations. I was able to reach out to either of them if I had questions. But it's a great opportunity to build a relationship with someone who can help you handle challenging situations, give you advice, and they can also be a great advocate for you when you're not in the room. So the other thing I wanted to share is a company that I volunteer at called Menttium. And Menttium is a company that I've been a part of and mentoring people since I left craft. So they have this great program that they run, and it's very structured and very well organized. And so a company, I'll say ABC company, reaches out to Menttium and says, I have 5 people in my organization that I'd like to have mentors for. And so that company, makes an agreement with Menttium. Menttium has a list of mentors that have been vetted and they've interviewed and they bring into their organization to provide mentoring. So I've been doing that since I left the company. And so each year I get a new high potential leader that I mentor once a month and talk about the different challenges that they have, the goals that they have. But the other thing that Menttium does, which is nice, is they offer webinars and programs and resources and information. So it's a really great opportunity for both the mentor and the mentee to take advantage of. And they do assessments and other things that help the conversations move forward. It's a really great structured program that people can take advantage of and be able to use. And I've had such great experiences and continue to have relationships with the people that I've mentored ever since I first mentored them. If you want to look into it, especially as a mentor, I think it's a great opportunity to meet with people who have high potential and you can learn from them just as much as they learn from you. So you might wonder, what's an outcome of mentoring programs like this? What is the goal? Well, mentees and mentors improve individual performance because they're sharing ideas, successes, they support each other. It fosters a diverse work environment. More open communication takes place. They learn how to do that. Both mentors and mentees have guidance that they probably wouldn't ordinarily have access to. So what's interesting, and you may hear me saying some of these things and you think, well, isn't it really for the mentee to learn from the mentor? Yes, but it's also interesting because mentors learn a lot from their mentees. They get to have exposure to things that maybe they haven't had exposure to either. And so I've always gone into a mentoring opportunity thinking about not only what can I share with this person and help them from a value perspective, but they also teach me a lot of things too. So go into it with an open mind and be ready to look at ways that you can learn from each other. It helps build community and engagement, creates mutual understanding of different parts of the world, different parts of the organization, maybe limitations or expectations that we might have. It really just opens your eyes with a different perspective. And it can help you drive innovation because you get to brainstorm ideas, just like I was doing with my client. How can we help you move forward in some way? And if he was in a more technical role, it might have given us different conversation. So there can always be different ways to take these conversations and really learn and grow from them. Now, if you haven't been a mentor before, here is what a mentor is really expected to do. So you want to understand what the goals are that this mentee has, review their development plan if they have one, but you're really there to give them opportunities to not only learn from you, but help them start to learn how to solve their own problems too. You're there to kind of listen and coach and challenge them, but you're also there to help them solve problems. So you can ask them some questions that really help them think about things, or they're building their own perspective on things. You can assist mentee in networking with the internal organization that you're a part of, or you may connect them with people externally that you already have in your network just to help their network grow. Be available for informal mentoring conversations. They may have challenges that they need to reach out to you in between meetings. Be open to their feedback, thoughts, and opinions. Put yourself in their position. When you were at that age or when you were younger in your career, how did you handle things? There's a lot of learnings that we have throughout our careers that we don't always think about. Engage your mentee as a mentor for yourself. I mentioned, the reverse mentoring. Some programs have been put in place where maybe someone from a younger generation mentors someone from an older generation who needs help with technology, for example. The older mentor mentors the younger generation on leadership or guidance in career, but the younger mentee can help that mentor be able to learn things that maybe they don't know as well and would benefit from. Provide a safe place for the mentee to share challenges and opportunities that they face, be available for guiding and helping them understand their choices and their impact, and try not to just tell them the answers like I mentioned earlier. Try to ask them questions or try to get them to come up with answers on their own where you can then guide them as needed. Some people wonder, like, what do you talk about? These were just a few ideas that I had that I wanted to share with you. If you've never been part of a mentoring meeting, it feels a little maybe uncomfortable at first just because you don't know the person as well. If you haven't met them, if you're being matched, talk about where you are in your development plan and what you want to learn and grow and do more of. Ask them for ideas or suggestions on actions you could take. Talk about strategy, current issues, your career, how they've defined their own success. What have they done to get to where they are today? What have they learned? What mistakes have they made that they learned from? You can also talk about books or podcasts or articles that you've read. Some programs that I've put together, I've given them resources that they can use as topics. So it just makes it easier to have a conversation. Discuss what you both want to get out of the relationship because you want to make it a good experience for both of you. You can talk about your work projects or what's happening in the business, maybe how the organizational structure is set up and where there's opportunities to make it better or how you can use it to your advantage. You can talk about leadership styles, communication styles, your leadership competencies and where you want to grow them. Or you can help each other, as I mentioned earlier, make contacts, gain visibility, and get more involved. So it's your decision what you want to talk about. If you're a mentee, use this to your advantage. Take advantage of this person's experience and knowledge and ask them the hard questions. And they can then in turn give you opportunities to learn from them. It's going to help you accelerate. And in my own experience, my mentors have been tremendous and helped me in so many ways. So I just jotted down a few things that they've done to help me navigating political issues, learning how to influence and use your power for influence, help me learn how to deal with people challenges. A few of my mentors were there when I had my first performance improvement plans with people, or when I had to let go of some people, or when I had an intern that didn't do what they were supposed to do and I had to let them go. There were so many things that happened during that time when I had really strong mentors in place, thank goodness, because they just helped me. I didn't always have the right people in place above me to ask the questions to. And so it was really great to leverage someone else who had been through those situations. Taught me the importance of visibility. So that's definitely obviously taken me on this path. Helped me understand how to manage through ambiguity. I also leveraged them to ask how they managed their career and the challenges that they had. And so some of the things that I was experiencing, they had already been through. And so it was really helpful to have their perspective of how to deal with something, especially when it's your first time. It can be a little scary and uncomfortable. So overall, having a mentor just is a game changer. I don't know how else to describe it because it helps you move faster. And that's really what we're hoping for you in your career. Mentors can share their career experiences with you. And I think it's just interesting because every person has their own perspective on situations and their style may be different. So, if you're meeting with someone whose style is very different from your own, it can be interesting because it doesn't mean you have to take their advice verbatim. You don't have to do it exactly the way they do it. You can just take and adapt it maybe into your own style. And I had a mentor once who said, when you're looking at future mentors, make sure you pick someone who's different than you. Don't pick someone who's exactly like you because you need that different perspective. And I thought that was really good advice. You may be ready to give back and be a mentor yourself if you get the chance. It's a good way to give back what you have learned to others and help them be able to learn and grow. And it's just given me some great opportunities to meet high potential talent who've gone on to wonderful careers. I get to see them and what they're doing and how they're growing. And it's just really fun to see all the great things that they've accomplished in their career. So we're going to transition into the visibility action plan now. If you haven't been a mentor, think about doing that. And if you have been a mentor, think about the experiences that you've had and what you've done. And if you are a mentee who wants to find a mentor, try to think about what is it that you want to get out of that relationship. There may be something very specific, like I mentioned, executive presence, for example, or you want to learn how to communicate more strategically or lead conversations in a different way. If you see somebody that you admire in the organization who does that well, it's good to have a conversation with them and see if they might be open to being your mentor. If you want to approach someone to be your mentor, here are just a few things to consider before you do it. Try to build a relationship with them first. You want to let them get to know you and see who you are and how you do things at work. Ask them if they would be your mentor. If they're open to doing that, they may or may not have time, and hopefully they'll give you that straight answer so you can ask them, how often you would meet and all that kind of stuff. If it's once a month, it probably wouldn't be too taxing on their schedule. Explain what you want to get from them and why you've asked them specifically. I really want to work with you as my mentor because I've seen what a great career you have, and I'm really hoping to learn more about how you navigate politics in the organization or how you communicate strategically and how you learn that. Whatever it is, they need to know why you see them as someone that you want to have as your mentor. And then the biggest thing is come to meetings prepared with an agenda and show them that you're invested in this relationship with them. It's really challenging when you are a mentor who's giving your time and the mentee isn't really prepared or maybe isn't all in to do it. So make sure that you're invested and that you really commit to doing this and doing it well, because it can really serve you in the best way. I hope this has given you some ideas. I hope it's given you some excitement around mentoring. I really am a huge advocate for it. And like I said, I've had some great experiences and continue to do that today. So I hope you will think about it for yourself. Thanks so much for joining today on the Visibility Factor podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much for listening to the Visibility Factor podcast. Remember that visibility starts with small steps that are intentional and consistent each day. Be bold, be visible, be the leader you were meant to be. Find us and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, which are highlighted in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Visibility Factor podcast.